I've used this creative testing structure to test 50 to 100 ads per week on Meta, spending up to $6 million per month. In my conversations with growth marketers, I've noticed that many teams know that they should be testing creatives, but don't know exactly how to. There's no one-size-fits-all approach, but I hope that you can take from this creative testing structure and tailor it to your needs. So let me get started. So first, in Meta, you want to create your own dedicated creative testing campaign, and you want to create your test ad sets, let's say test ad set 1, 2, 3, and your test ad sets house your different ad tests. And the optimization event in your creative testing campaign is the same as your evergreen campaign. So for example, if you're optimizing for purchases in your evergreen campaign, your creative testing campaign should also be optimizing for purchases. If you're running app install campaigns, you should usually optimize for trial starts, Generally, the daily budget on the ad set level should hit 50 conversions in a week at your average CPA. So for example, if your average CPA is $10, then your ad set daily budget should be about $70. Facebook made some changes a few days ago where the learning phase changed from you needing at least 50 conversions in a week to needing just about 10. Generally, I think it's a sliding scale. The more conversions you have on the ad set level, the more stable performance is. So this could change over time, but generally I recommend having at least 50 conversions in a week on your ad set tests. So moving on, how do we structure these ad set tests? So ads within each ad set test one specific variable. So if we look here, these 3 different ads, the only thing different between them is going to be the hook. And within the hook, you want to aim for one variable to test, whether it's the text headline, whether it's the visual portion, or whether it's the audio portion. So this helps you isolate the specific thing that's working or not. Same thing, for example, in test ad set 2, the only thing that's different is the body. So what makes up the body is the script. You can follow proven copywriting frameworks like Problem Agitate Solution, or 3 reasons listicles, or unique mechanism, educational scripts. You can test all these specific scripts in your body video. What else comprises of the body video is your music or voiceover, visual sequence, or visual concept. You can test 3D motion graphics, you can test UGC ads, you can test a talking head ad, you can test a podcast ad, you can test a founder story ad, you can test a skit ad. So these all comprise your body, and to an extent your hook as well. CTA, this is just an example, but CTA is something that you can test. It's not as important as the beginning of your video ad, not as important as your hook or the start of your body. If you look at the average video view duration of your entire ad account, I'm willing to bet on average it's about 5 to 6 seconds. So if you test your hook and the beginning of the body, you're already testing 60 to 75% of your video ad. That's not to say that some people won't go on to keep watching more of your ad. Ideally, you want that to happen. But most of the times, people will just watch 5 to 6 seconds. Maybe they'll go visit your website, go visit your app. So CTAs are not as important to test. Ads are judged based on CPA. Aim for at least 30 conversions on an ad before making the decision to duplicate into the evergreen campaign or to pause. This will let you be very, very confident in the performance of your ad. Some upper funnel metrics to consider are link click-through rate, hook rate, which is a 3-second video view, divided by impression, and also hold rate, which is a through play divided by impression. So how many people are watching 15 seconds at least on your video ads. So some of the most important things to test are going to be your hooks, the text headline, the visual hook, and increasingly important is going to be the audio hook. Beginning of the body, so the first frame of your body video is important, maybe even the problem statement after the hook. CTAs are not as important and are optional in the software I'm building called Sovereign. And these are just some of the rough iteration playbooks that you can run when you measure performance of your video ads. So let's say hook rate is above a benchmark 30%, but your CPA is not hitting your CPA goal. You can test different body videos with that same hook, because you know, okay, this hook is good, but everything else is pretty bad, so you want to test different scripts, for instance, creator, visuals, or music. Another scenario is if hold rate is 10% and CPA is bad. This indicates that people are watching past 15 seconds. You can test different hooks again. You can test different creators, visuals, music. You can test different scripts even. And if hook rate is less than 30%, hook rate, CPA is bad, you can test different hooks again because you know the hook rate is low. Test different headlines, different creators, visuals, music, so on and so forth. When you're running the ad tests, and if an ad hits your CPA goal at a significant amount of spend, then you can go ahead and duplicate that ad from your testing campaign into your evergreen campaign and evergreen ad set. So your evergreen campaign and ad set should house all of your creative winners. And the purpose of having a separate evergreen campaign and a dedicated creative testing campaign is sometimes very, very good lower funnel performance, meaning it has a very high hook rate or it has a very high install rate, but they don't go on to start a trial, for instance, or they don't go on to subscribe to your app. But because the upper funnel metrics are very, very good, Facebook's going to spend a lot on that ad because a lot of people are either clicking or they're watching the hook or so forth. So those signals show Facebook that it's a good ad to show and capture attention for their users, but it might not necessarily be good for your app because they could just be clicking because your visual's good, or they could be watching because your visual hook's good. So that can go on to wreck your evergreen campaign because it'll just start spending a ton of money on this ad that might not even convert for you. So that's why you want to have a dedicated creative testing campaign and a separate evergreen campaign. So I hope this is helpful. This is a boilerplate general creative testing structure that I recommend, and you can make some tweaks to this if you have particular business situations like budget constraints or creative production constraints. But let me know if you have any questions. I'll make more videos like this in the future, and hope this was helpful. Thanks.